there, thank you for joining us and welcome to another edition of the Evening Review. My name is Okito Greg, and in studio with us this evening is Mr. Jona Musheko, the spokesperson for the Namibia Green Hydrogen Program. Jona, how are you, sir?
Very well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Very good, very good. Thank you. You are most welcome. Please, let's start with STIP. That's the Sectoral Transformation Investment Plan for Namibia. What is it?
Okay, so you allow me to give a bit of background just so that I fill in our viewers. So last year, Namibia applied for the Industry Decarbonization Program funding from the CIF, which is Climate Investment Fund at a global. That's like your EIF, Environmental Investment Fund that we have locally, but that one is now at a global level. The idea of the Industry Decarbonization Program is for CIF to encourage countries to decarbonize. When you say decarbonize, you're actually trying to change industries that are heavy in emitting carbon emission, so that they can use less source of energy that do not use or do not emit a lot of carbon. So that initiative or that program now, we participated last year. I think 26 or 27 countries globally participated, and Namibia came out as number 3 with Brazil and Mexico on top, and South Africa at number 4. I think Tokyo and other countries, and Kazakhstan follows after that. That then means that we qualify to be given concessional. When I say concessional, it's actually just cheap capital for development. Concessional financing for industry decarbonization at a value of $250 million US dollars. I think in Namibian dollars it's around 3.9 or 4 billion Namibian dollars. But that was now the notification that yes, we qualify. But after that notification, we were then requested to come up with a sectoral transformation investment plan, which is more like your pipeline of project that to say, well, you qualify for this amount. Now, give us your plan in terms of what type of project would you use this money for, because it's cheap capital, but it is money that should be invested in projects or initiatives that have to do with emitting or reducing carbon emission in various industries we have in the country. And the fact that we are not so much industrialized economy, that means we need then to come up with new industries that are already clean from the get-go.
I see.
So the project now, the STIP, which is now the Sectoral Transformation Investment Plan, we are putting together initiatives of ideas that we have requested from Namibians, because last year in September, we ran a call for project proposals for Namibians entrepreneurs to submit proposals of what type of businesses and ideas related to green industrialization can they throw in, and then we include those in the submission so that we can justify how much we can get from the $250 million US dollars, because that's the maximum you can get as a country.
I see,
But based on what you submit, you can get $150 million US dollars, you can get $100 million US dollars, depending to what you submitted. So then we have then, since earlier this year, we've then been busy trying to put together that main submission, where we include all the 70. We did a short listing. We got about 148 applications from Namibians. Some of them are joint ventures with international companies, but we've gotten 148 applications, and we have shortlisted up to 78 projects that are aligning with different thematic areas where we are looking at in terms of industry that could be set up, and that could also be involved in utilization of renewable energy. And that's where you bring in also the element of green hydrogen. But it's not necessarily, you don't have to be necessarily producing green hydrogen. It is so much diverse to the point that some of them don't even have to do with green hydrogen. It is purely perhaps just renewable energy, fueling station that is running on solar energy. Some of those are the ideas that we've gotten. Or processing iron ore, or like what we're doing at High Iron Shivela. So now that proposal or that submission is what we are busy with now. We must be able to submit it by October, but now the timeline looks in a way that so we do consultation, but we make sure that all these consultations we are doing, they are targeted consultations. The government parastatals are involved. They know what is happening. The project that they have submitted, they are involved. The communities where some of these projects will be implemented, they are also involved in the sense that they know what we are trying to do. That's why earlier in March, we were in the Rongo region with consultation. I think 3 weeks ago we were in Karas region with the same information sharing to say this is what we are doing and we want you to know what we are doing, because that money will come and support some of the projects that will be implemented in the Karas region, some in the Erongo region, some in Kunene, some in Central area. So we want them to know it's part of the requirements of this submission that if you don't do consultations, we will not be able to qualify, because what if we give you money and then the projects start being implemented and then get rejected by the communities? Or the parastatals that need to perhaps sometimes support this project are not informed that they might need to even take a year before they can be able to be plugged in on those projects. That means that's a wasted time and wasted resources that could be allocated to other countries. So that's what we're busy now to put together that sectoral transformation investment plan. And we should be done with the draft, at least the first draft, by July to August. We must submit a draft that we submit to CIF. And then at the same time, it must also be uploaded on public platforms so that public members can have inputs in that draft. And eventually by October, we should be able to submit a final one and go and defend it. And eventually by end of the year, we get feedback on what is going to happen, whether we get the entire 250 or we get part of that. Because I know recently CIF has announced that the top countries that are in front of us, which is Brazil and Mexico, they have gotten their $250 million US, all of them, which was just approved, I think, a week ago. So we are hoping that with the joint mission that we have now, we are calling it a joint mission because it's CIF Secretariat. They are here in Windhoek. It's the multilateral banks, that is your World Bank, IFC, Africa Development Bank, and now Namibian government ministries, different ministries that are involved in energy production, environment issues, water issues. They are all now, we are all seated in Windhoek since Monday until tomorrow. And then I think tomorrow evening we'll drive to Erongo region so that people can go and see some of the pilot projects that we have in the country.
Okay. Well, congratulations on how far you've come.
Yeah.
You know, as a Namibian, I've got to immediately raise my concern. These new clean industries that you are trying to build, do they provide jobs?
Most definitely. You see, what I think, just to reflect back a bit, where and how this idea, remember from the onset it was mainly just seen as green hydrogen.
Yes.
But what we are doing now is actually more than green hydrogen. And that's why you saw, even when the president or cabinet has approved the Green Hydrogen Council, which it used to be called Green Hydrogen Council, it has been renamed to Green Industry Council because of the expanded mandate of the things we do. We are not just focused on hydrogen anymore. It's a whole value chain of renewable energy and what you can do with renewable energy. So job creation, obviously. And obviously, if you look back when this whole conversation started, there was a lot of misunderstanding, and maybe our messaging was not well also crafted to say we are going to solve the issue of unemployment entirely. It's not going to be like that. Obviously, the idea was to create an additional economic engine to add on tourism, mining, agriculture, fishing, so that we can be able also to supplement some jobs. But the bigger portion was more to industrialize and industrialize in a cleaner manner, in the sense that using CIF money, the money that we like now, what we are trying to mobilize, we are required to industrialize in a way that is sustainable to the environment as well, because the broader conversation lead is climate change. So obviously the jobs are there. If you look at the projects, currently we've got 2 projects in Namibia that are already producing green hydrogen, obviously utilizing renewable energy. And each of them, if you look at those projects, for instance, High Iron Oshivela, phase 1, they had to install about 44,000 solar panel units in just near Arandis there. Those were installed by Namibians. They had to engage about 60 SMEs involved in the entire construction and the installation. Currently they are operating, I think, with more than 30 people on site. Those are Namibians. So the element of job creation is there, but we are not going to solve the entire issue of unemployment, because if you look at our numbers, we are saying it's above 30% in terms of unemployment rate. But if you look at it as they keep saying that the broader definition of unemployment can then bring us to 50%. That can't be solved by one sector. We need all of us. Agriculture needs to come in, mining needs to come in, most especially, and this is how we see renewable energy sector, it more like interact with most sectors.
Yes.
You saw, I think somewhere earlier I think a month or 2 months ago, we saw the announcement by Namibia with the announcement that together with CMB Tech, they are going to launch this year their first locomotive that will run on hydrogen and diesel.
Yes.
It's those type of interaction that we are anticipating to see with different sectors, and that's the value we need to start capturing within our economy. Obviously, over the past 30 years, we've been extracting, dust off, and export.
Yes.
You look at lithium, you look at uranium, gold, all these things we are copper. What do we do with them?
Yes.
So we want to be able to see if we can change that and industrialize. Perhaps slightly late, but it's better we start now, because if you look at the ambitions of Vision 2030, they are saying we're supposed to have our secondary sector contributing at least 40% to the GDP.
Yes.
Because currently we are still, I think, around 18% or 16%, which is way far. And all these numbers, we must be able to change them, but we can't change them with the same approach we have been doing things over the years. We need new innovative ways to add value to our minerals. And in adding value, that's where we create jobs. Because if you look at our number of the total population, we have 3 million. And I think the president has set a tone earlier when in last year that we are too few to be poor.
Yeah.
If you compare the number of people we have in the country vis-a-vis the resources we have, whether it's fishing, whether it's tourism, whether it is agriculture, whether I came from agriculture, the potential is there. Whether it is actual mining, we have a lot of minerals here. But what do? Extract, no value addition. Uranium, we are doing the same. But obviously, what matters is that we must be able to start. And each sector must be able to start something so that we can keep the wheel moving. And eventually, we create some value for our own people.
Very good. Thank you very much for that baseline. Well, I think we have a better understanding. And we'll be right back to unpack this important issue as soon as we get back from this commercial break. Please stay with us here on the Evening Review. Welcome back to the Evening Review. My name is Ogito Greg, and in studio with me this evening, Mr. Jona Musheko, the spokesperson for the Namibia Green Hydrogen Program, and he's expanding on the STIP. What was that again?
The
Sectoral Transformation Investment Plan.
Yes.
And industrial decarbonization that Namibia
program,
is embarking upon.
Yes.
Earlier you mentioned some important points, and I'd like us just to revisit a couple of them. One was that, perhaps we are a bit late, and in terms of climate change. I think that the impacts of climate change are becoming more apparent and more urgent for Namibians every day, and especially with the expected worsening later this year with the El Nino effect and all of that. Are we too late?
Well, I wouldn't want to say we are too late, because remember, what we are measuring ourselves against is the Vision 2030. And visions, as per their nature, it's more to say, okay, this is the target we set ourselves 30 years ago, or 30-something years ago. I think it was since 2004, if I'm not mistaken. And we can always start to readjust that to say, okay, now we have a better understanding of this and how we have been doing things. Let's now start to set another vision, perhaps vision 2040, vision 2045. What do we look forward to? But we must also be able to understand the base where we are operating from, to say, in the past 30 years, this is our progress, this is our speed. What do we need to do differently? We have obviously things that we need to start doing differently. And most of those I have highlighted. We need to start capturing value locally.
Yes.
And if you look at even the conversation of hydrogen when it started, the main takeaway people had, it was to say we are going to produce hydrogen for export.
Yeah.
But that has changed because we saw that if we just do this thing for export, then we are operating just like any other sector that existed for the past 30 years.
Yes.
So we had to change our thinking to say, okay, for what is going to be for what our offtake partners, they are looking to use hydrogen in their countries, let us test it here. Let us see how it can be applied here in Namibia. And that is where now you saw when the funds were mobilized to start up pilot projects.
Yes.
To start with educating our Namibians in terms of scholarships, to make sure that there is a fund, again, a coordinating body that is linked to government, which is now the program where we are. All this was meant to say, for us to be able to do things differently, let us not produce hydrogen for export only. Yes, there are projects that are focusing on hydrogen for export, but most of them, let us look at utilization of hydrogen in our local economy, but obviously those green products, because whatever you use to process hydrogen with, eventually we call it green products.
Yes.
Yeah, then we can export those products because they will catch a lucrative price externally.
Yes.
So, and in the process of you creating those projects locally here, again, like I said before, you have maintained some of the jobs here. You have kept some of the value addition here. You have kept some of the skills here. If you look at the number of people we have sent to school, to date they are about 270 in the past 3 years, with 90 of them at master's level in 2 years.
That's pretty good.
It's a number that we, not even the other sectors can do in a short period of time.
Yeah.
But the thinking is to say, because there were concerns that we are not ready as a country. One, we didn't have skills apparently. We were not ready in terms of technology. Yes, but these things could be improved, and that's what we exactly did and proven to say. Skills, we upskill the people that we have already. Vocational education in our country so far, if you check with the NTA, they probably have about more than 15,000 young people that are trained, but they have no opportunities.
Yes, yes.
But not because they can't do the job, because there are no industries where they can participate.
Yes.
These are boilermakers, these are welders, these are electricians. But where are they? They are at home.
At home, yeah.
So what we are doing, like what we did with most of them, we send them to specialized qualification kind of, and pump some of them into projects so that they can get experience. I was listening to just one of the story at CMB Tech. They are getting from NEMT.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you catch up with NEMT, and if they are at liberty to speak, very soon they will start exporting skills outside, because the world saw what we are producing in Namibia with NEMT joined together with the CMB Tech.
Yes.
To say, we want those guys. Can you send them? Can you give us some of them? And those are the skills we are trying to prepare and make sure that we are able to do things in Namibia. And when we have done that, when we have that established, we are able to say, okay, now we are moving a little bit different from the other sectors. Perhaps other engines can start operating the same. Agriculture, value addition. We have got, like I said, I come from that sector. How many livestock we send out of the country on hoof?
Yes.
Keep them in, send them to Meatco, slaughter them there. Not 17,000 per year, not 19,000 per year. Keep them here. Minerals, diamonds, whatsoever. Process them here, polish them here, let the value remain here. Uranium, I know uranium can be complicated because of the global agreements that need to be in place, but there are countries that are allowed to enrich uranium. Did we try at a particular level to enrich it where it is acceptable? From 0.37 where it comes off from the ground to at least maybe 5, maybe 10. Let's see. Yeah. And be able to use that in our reactors. Okay. If we are to set up reactors. Obviously, scholars and economists will tell you now having a reactor is expensive, or it's like the conversation of having an oil, oil refinery is expensive. But okay, we must be able to do the balance, this balancing to say, okay, this is what you invest and this is what you can get out of it eventually. But we must also be able to market what we produce here, because you can't produce and just keep quiet. It's a whole trading economy. We must be able to go to other countries and say, this is what we have in Namibia that is processed and, you know, ready for export, and we are looking for clients.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's a very comprehensive answer. I want to ask a different question now, also referencing something. You quoted the president who has said publicly that we are too few to be poor.
Yeah.
But, you know, the reason why the income distribution in Namibia is the way it is because we come from a history of colonialism, which was designed to funnel wealth to the few and then even out of the country. And then we went through apartheid, which was still designed to funnel wealth to a few. And after independence, we didn't change our financial system. We didn't change our business system. Now that we are looking at transforming our industries, is there any aspect of this looking at how we are going to distribute wealth so that the majority of Namibians can benefit instead of just a few?
Well, good one. You know, one thing that I'll indicate we are proud of, especially with the projects that we have, the pilot projects, plus the ones that we have shortlisted, and those that potentially will be funded through the MDBs, the multilateral development banks, is that most of them are owned by ordinary Namibians.
Okay.
People that you and me can relate to. And they are, for instance, just like Daures, a project initiated by fellow Namibians in a community where it obviously can't absorb everyone, but it will obviously create an impact here and there. And I think the challenge with the systems we found in place, like you said, they were designed in a certain way.
Yes.
To channel with however you do it, and it was coordinated systems from the banking system to the social systems to the government systems.
Yes.
That were in place. They were all coordinated to, you know, channel wealth to a particular. And well, we can say we still have a lot to change. If you look at most of our, and I think we have seen a number of debates around different regulations or policies that need to be changed. Those things for us is what we are doing different is to make sure that we are very clear of the position of our communities and the people of Namibia. If you look at even how we are telling the project now, we are saying, look, we know you are operating in an environment where perhaps mining and others exist, and they are not doing that, what we want you to do. But we want you to have at least a dedicated corporate social responsibility, whereby you are able, communities where you are operating are able to find in a way benefit. And that it's obviously not well received by everybody, because most of them are commercial projects.
Yes.
And commercial projects, there's a capitalism kind of approach.
Yes.
But it is always the position of our leaders now within this space to say, we want communities to be able to say they are proud of this project because it has created this type of impact.
Yes.
If you are into power production, how are the communities going to benefit from that power production? If you are going to set up a desalination plant, can you tell us how is the benefit in terms of community benefits? Same apply, for instance, Daures. They are the first project that we know have attempted to have got community members, a community with shareholders within the company. It is not perfect yet because it's something they are doing for the first time and they are trying to polish it as time goes. But some sentiments we've gotten communities that at least they have thought of having communities as shareholders with a particular percentage.
Yes.
That allows some benefits to flow into the community directly. Yes, it's something that we need to keep advancing and making sure that in as much as it goes through the teething stage, eventually one day to be able to achieve its intended purpose, and we can replicate it in other projects to say, okay, hi Anoshvela, CMB Tech, can you have this portion to be at least owned by the public, or the community, or at least have a dedicated responsibility under social corporate responsibility. Okay. So that's the discussion. It also has to be done in a smart way so that you also don't want to necessarily create this impression that there are people that want to ride for free. Is more, it should come from an understanding that you are bringing a project in a community. They cannot just be looking at it and they are not benefiting. They must be able to have some benefits in one way or another. And that's how you also create project ownership, and they will also feel part of it in terms of community development. Okay. So we have to change that, and we have to make sure that we try our best. It is not easy in the type of market we are playing in terms of just a free market where somebody must do their business and they must make money and they go. Yeah. But we must show intent that we want it to change, because investors, they can only bend if you are demanding. Now we are looking for this finance. When you get this finance, we are already talking to see if that at least when you are going to roll this money out, there must also be some conditions to say there must be dedicated corporate social responsibility, so that projects are also accepted in communities where they are operating.
Okay, excellent. It's a big opportunity, many big opportunities that you are talking about. Yeah. Can you share with us what are the next steps that we can expect before the end of the year? And what can ordinary Namibians do so that they can prepare themselves to participate or even get involved immediately?
So what will happen is that, like I indicated before, that by July to August, we must have a draft ready. Yeah. So after this joint meeting that we have in Windhoek this week, the team will gather again, our own team, the government team, as well as the multilateral banks and CIF themselves, Secretariat. We must meet to finalize the draft report, the draft plan, and we must be able to submit that draft by July or August and upload it on our platform so that it can be available for inputs. And then October, like I said, we will have to submit it again to CIF for final presentation and defending if need be. After October, we will then expect feedback maybe before end of the year. Okay. Then that means that feedback will then say Namibia qualify for the entire 250, like Brazil and Mexico, or you qualify for $250 million, or you qualify for 150, depending to the quality and how they see what we have submitted and how much it is worth. And then after that feedback, the day they announce that this is the amount of money we qualify for, CIF shares the money or channel the money towards the multilateral banks. Okay. And all of us, the multilateral banks and the country, the beneficiary, we have 24 months to start implementation. Okay. Within 24 months, projects dust must start to be seen on the ground. So that means early next year, we should start seeing capital flowing in at different projects. Some of them are even in textile and mineral processing, different, interesting. So we are expecting by next year, if everything goes according to plan, that capital will start flowing from CIF, multilateral banks, and when it goes through these banks, it doesn't come out the way it is. They add, they blend it, and they multiply either by 3 or 2. That's why the total of $4 billion Namibian dollars, it will actually go up to somewhere up there. So we expect that money to start flowing by early next year, if we comply to all the timelines that are in place.
Thank you very much, Jona. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this evening's evening review. But join us again tomorrow evening when we'll have an equally interesting discussion to have. And thank you very much. Good night.